Life is a funny thing, isn't it? The Drake equation says it should be everywhere. And yet, here we are, still searching. What would you guys think if I told you there might be life on Mercury? The Hunt for Aliens. Featuring Michael Strange of Troubled Minds Radio. That's right, Mercury, the planet closest to the Sun. According to Space.com, Mercury gets as high as 800 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be 427 degrees Celsius for you metric types. And that means it can get as cold as minus 290 Fahrenheit and negative 180 Celsius, again for you metric types. But that seems not very hospitable to life, does it? Well, check this out. Apparently, scientists have decided that there could be life on Mercury. So this is reported by Futurism.com, and the title here is Scientists Say There Could Be Life on Mercury, and it goes into to say this, quote, "It is possible that as long as there was water, the temperatures could be appropriate for the survival and possibly the origin of life," said Jeffrey Cargill from the Planetary Science Institute. And now this seems absurd, doesn't it? This seems like one of those reaches, unless there's actual water on Mercury. So let's go back and look at the history of water on Mercury here and see if there could be aliens, alien life, at least microbes, who knows? Maybe something larger, something more grand. But let's go to Universe Today, and this is reported as far back as 2009. And so they have water on Mercury here. And it says, you might be surprised to know that astronomers have discovered water on Mercury. Not liquid water, but deposits of water ice at the planet's poles. This is because there are craters at the north and south poles of Mercury, which are eternally in shadow. The ice in these craters is never warmed by the sun, and so it always remains frozen at the bottom of these craters. When NASA's Messenger spacecraft flew past Mercury in 2008, it also discovered the presence of water vapor in the thin atmosphere that surrounds Mercury. This atmosphere, or more precisely, exosphere, is created when particles from the sun's solar wind bombard Mercury and kick up atoms into its atmosphere. It's possible that the solar wind is kicking up water from the ice deposits at Mercury's poles, and maybe it's coming from cometary fragments. Or maybe the solar wind is depositing the oxygen and hydrogen atoms on Mercury's surface in the first place. So this is, again, as far back as 2008. They've decided that there's probably water on Mercury, right? Who would have thought? The hottest planet closest to the sun, and of course that would give life the possibility. But then this continues. This is according to NASA, which, of course, everybody knows stands for never a straight answer. Ha ha, wink wink. Okay, but here's what it says. This was in 2012. Mercury's rotational axis is almost zero, less than 1 degree. So there are pockets of the planet's poles that never see sunlight. Scientists suggested decades ago that there might be water, ice, and other frozen volatiles trapped at Mercury's poles. So that's pretty wild, right? So if you look at this, you can actually just take a look at the radar that was scanned by the spacecraft as it flew by and studied Mercury since 2008. This is one of the poles of Mercury, and where the yellow circles seem to be are where they're declaring ice, actual pockets of ice that has been stuck there for Lord knows how long. And so if there's ice, there's going to be portions where it's probably half melted, maybe not melted. Who knows, right? It's you need water, they say. So we have water. And back to the main article here. So it's again futurism. So they say that this isn't completely nuts. The idea of life on Mercury is still a long shot, but the researchers are hopeful. And so yeah, pretty crazy stuff, right? Then here we go. So we have, again, this is space.com, and the first photos of water ice on Mercury captured by NASA spacecraft. So these were the actual photographs. This is, again, from 2014. And let's go to a current day. If you think this is nuts, you think this is crazy stuff, You think this is whatever this might be? Well, let's go to one more source, the New York Times. Now, the New York Times is completely nuts in my opinion. However, they put out an article today. The headline, Life on the Planet Mercury? It's not completely nuts. Well, hopefully less nuts than the New York Times themselves. But here we go. Here's a nice shot of Mercury. That is not the moon. That is actually Mercury, or at least a digital representation thereof. And what do you guys think? In the end, you think there's a chance there's life? And as always, is it microbes or is it little green men? Thanks for listening.